Lovely. So we're all sitting comfortably. Welcome this morning. So my camera for Zoom is up here, but I am looking at people on my laptop down here. So if my eye line is down, it's just because I'm looking at you guys rather than kind of scorping at camera. And that is Nick and Kat. Welcome. Good. Everyone well? How did everyone feel after Annette's shoulder class the other day? Oh, yeah, you're not muted yet, so you can talk to me.
That was good. It's a good class.
Did you feel it afterwards?
Yes.
I was actually quite sore later that day. By the next day, I was fine. I was like, oh my word, what has she done to me? I had a bath in Epsom salts and felt a lot better. Yeah, it was an excellent class. So today we're looking at upper back and shoulders again. It's just amazing how two people can take the same topic and do such a different class. And as I think you'll see, there's very little overlap with what she did. This is much gentler and much more about mobilization than building strength. So I don't think we've got any planks or downward dogs in this. So I'm going to just mute you all. I'm almost tempted to leave you on, but I know it's always a bit of a worry to be leaving people on, but not mute myself. Cool, lovely. Just unmute yourselves if you need to ask anything at any point. That's fine, or anything goes weird. So we will start sitting, Sukhasana, easy pose, or a variant of your choice. You know what you're doing with this, but we're going to do some hip circles. So it's probably best in a cross-legged variant if you can. I would suggest that you use as many blocks or cushions as you need to in order that your hips are, your knees are relatively low. And we will do a fair bit of sitting to begin with. So let's just start some nice gentle circles. Noting where you feel this in the body. So for me, because I've got a very vulnerable lower back, at the beginning of the class, I always feel this in my lower back. I don't tend to feel my back until I start moving. So when we sort of say scan your body and you're standing still, I'm thinking, I'm fine. And then I start moving and it's like, oh my word. And the other way, and this is when I feel it. And I think this is just the body's way of saying, be gentle with me. Warm yourself up well. So let's make sure that we're really hinging from the hips and not just sort of moving the head and shoulders around, but the hinge is starting down here. Okay, so hopefully that's about equal either side. Let's sit up again. Just put the hands on the knees, either down or up. Tuck the chin in and come to as straight a back and spine as you can. Think about a string pulling the top of your head up and your chin coming in. Close the eyes for a moment and just come to the breath, come to the mat, inhaling through the nose, pausing, exhaling through the nose. Continue with that. Let's just ground ourselves. If it helps to put the hand on the heart or the belly or the side ribs, whatever feels right for you. And we're focusing on really filling that internal space up. So filling the belly, filling the side ribs, filling the chest, filling into the back with air. Keeping the shoulders relaxed while you do it. And then a nice slow exhale. Now this time when we inhale, hold it, and then we're going to do a sound through the teeth. So inhale and keep going. And what you'll find is that you exhale for a lot longer because there's a smaller gap of air. Inhale again. And just through pursed lips this time. One more nice big inhale, and then a standard nice slow exhale through the nose. Lovely. Okay, Okay, let's open the eyes, and we're going to do a seated cat-cow today. So bringing the hands forwards and arch the back. Your chin should tuck. You may feel a few clicks in the back, and then bringing the hands back. This is like a sort of sting train. So we'll do this a few times. So being mindful of the breath here. So I suggest that you open the chest and breathe in at that point, and then close as you tuck, exhale as you tuck the chin down. And I will often do this kind of loosening mobilization piece when I'm sat in a chair, and then you suddenly realize from the clicks and clunks you hear and the relief you feel how much tension you've been holding in the back. And if you're feeling up to it, we can reach forwards and then open the arms out. So my hands are coming back beyond my shoulders, keeping the shoulders relaxed and down. That's it. And bringing them back in again. So I'm coming to a crocodile hands here, tucking my chin. Inhale as we open up. You might want to look up to the ceiling a little, and then exhale as you come down. Inhale. Exhale. Being mindful of those shoulders staying as far away from your ears as you can. One more. Good. Bringing the hands back down. Let's roll the shoulders forwards and back. Nice slow movements, and then do that in the opposite direction. And you may want to do one at a time, which is a net move, which I really like, and then the other direction. And you could even bring the hands into it and the other direction. Good. Right, do some head and shoulder work now. So if you want to switch your legs around, we tend to have a preferred side with the Sukhasana position, so let's fix it up a little. Coming back to that nice string coming up the top of the head, chin tucked in. Inhale, and then we're all going to look across to one side, I don't mind which side, and we look across very slowly on the exhale, keeping these shoulders nice and relaxed, keeping straight in the spine. Couple of breaths while you're here. Just keep the head straight, keeping the chin tucked. Inhale back to the center. And then exhale to the other side. So you'll feel a stretch, obviously, down the side that you're not looking towards. Inhaling back to the center. Nice and slow with all of these. Take an inhale, and then we're going to tuck the chin down again. Notice how this feels, particularly in the upper back. Bringing the hands in front of you, interlace the fingers, and again, making that sort of C shape with the back, and rounding the back around so that the chin is tucking really down. And then we're going to bring the hands up, inhaling. Inhaling, looking up, stretching tall. Bring the face forwards and then see if you can bring the hands back a tad more. Keeping those shoulders relaxed and down while stretching up. Good. Bringing the hands back down to the bottom. Now we're going to take the chin down to that first shoulder. So again, nice and relaxed here. That's an interesting little move in front of Linda there. Chin down to one shoulder. For those of you that are only seeing me, don't switch your view. Inhale back up to the center and exhale down to the other shoulder. Now, these few little exercises may have given you a little bit of an insight into kind of how your neck and shoulders are today. Whether you've got any particular, and come back to the center, residual kind of soreness from that class the other day. So I'm feeling it a little bit in here. Oh, and then there's a Jessica running across as well. Lovely. Okay, so just be mindful of where the body is at right now. Okay, cactus lady arms. Here we are. Let's try and get these elbows so that they're coming on the same plane as the shoulders. So Sue, you could lift your elbows up a tad. Nick, you could lift up a tad so that you've got a real T going across here. And I know Jenny does a bit of a variant with this anyway. So Jenny, work with whatever variant you want to do. The rest of us are going to bring the hands down like this. And can you see how my elbows are still as high as my shoulders? Now, I know for some people this is going to be really tricky. Jenny, you might want to just do some rotations like this, maybe. And then everybody else up. Inhaling and then exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. So just be mindful again of these shoulder blades. They should be coming down towards your back pockets. Shoulders should be nice, as relaxed as you can make them. Good. Back to these cactus arms one more time. Just open those elbows out as much as you can. Be on your edge here a little bit. That's an interesting variant, Nick. Okay, and bringing the hands down. Right, let's bring both the hands up on an inhale. And then we're going to twist round to one knee. So right hand on left knee or the other way around. And then the other hand comes around the back. So again, working on these shoulders coming down and looking back over the back shoulder. Trying to keep both sitting bones and knees as low as they were before. Inhaling back up, shoulders relaxed and down still. And exhaling down to twist the other side. So we'll come up and we'll just repeat this a few times. I'm going to let you do this as fast or as slow as you like. Sometimes what we sense we need is speed and mobility, obviously not super fast. Sometimes we just need to hold these positions for a while. So do what feels right for you. Inhaling up, exhaling down into the twist is the general principle. And when you feel like you've done equal amounts on each side, stretch one more time and bringing the hands down in front of you, clawing the mat, so sort of lizard fingers here, and just walk the hands forwards. Dropping the head down a little so that you've got a stretch coming down the sides of the body. And then walk the hands round to the left, keeping your sitting bones on the floor on the right side, keeping that right knee down as well. Walking back to the centre and coming round to the right. Coming back to the centre, working our way up, bringing the hands to heart centre. So this is Anjali Mudra, Namaste. We're going to do a little twist like this. So we're going to take the right elbow over to the left knee. So inhaling and then exhale into that twist. Now, some people might be able to get the elbow to the knee. Yep, Sue's doing nicely. My back is not, as you know, my back's quite tight. So I'm just going to where I can. Don't over push it. Lovely. Inhale back to the centre and then exhale to twist the other side. So this is a revolved Sukhasana, a revolved easy pose. Inhale back, let's bring the hands up again. Fingertips together and exhale down to the side. So one more side stretch, taking the right hand down, left hand up, inhale, and then exhale into that side stretch. So again, I'm keeping my sitting bones of both sides on the floor and still working on these knees coming down. So there's a bit of a hip opener going on as well here. And what we're trying to do is open the heart up to the sky. So it's not looking down, it's really opening up. And if you look up, if you can, under your elbow, that works well. If your shoulders are such that this is difficult for you, you can take your hand to your ribs and still look up. So that might be worth trying if you've got a bit of a shoulder injury. Inhaling back to the centre, bringing that hand down, inhale the other hand up, and then down you go. And again, it's almost like a twist to open the heart up to the ceiling and then look under that raised elbow. So you're trying to get that elbow up a little higher. That's lovely. Can't see Kat, but hello. And again, if you can just try this if you prefer. Just put the hand behind the ribs, and again we're opening up these collarbones. And inhaling and coming back. So we're going to shift this now to half Lord of the Fishes, which I know you know pretty well already. Adjust whatever you're sitting on if you need to. So this is your standard half Lord of the Fishes, where we have one leg straight, the other knee across, and then we're going there, okay? But I just want to teach you a variant if you would like. And you start in your cross-legged pose. So this is probably not for Linda, not for people that have got dodgy knees. So if you've got a dodgy knee, left leg down, straight, right leg over the top. If your knees are okay, left leg is under as if you were in a cross-legged position, and bring the right foot over the knee. Do you see where we're going with that? So I think, Nick, probably you'd be better off with your left leg straight, just because I think your hips are quite tight. But this is just a nice variant of half Lords of the Fishes, if you'd like. So now we've got the kind of the bottom half sorted, and I'm still sitting on my block. You could be half on and half off a block, whatever kind of feels right for you. I like to have, so I've got my right foot in front, and I quite like to perch with the right buttock on a block. All right. So let's bring the hands up, inhaling. Exhale, the right hand down and behind, and then the left elbow comes over that left knee, or you can hug the knee to you. And we're using it as a bit of a lever, a pivot. And what we're working on here is just using this pivot to allow you to stretch a little bit more into this twist. So you may not be feeling this sort of in your center back. Opening up the right shoulder behind you, and then if you want to look over. So let's inhale and exhale and try and bring some softness into this pose. I know we're twisting, so we're wringing out here. See if you can breathe out some softness into it as well. Perhaps notice where you're feeling this, perhaps in the right hip, somewhere up your spine, perhaps along the back of the left shoulder, in your neck. Breathe softness into those areas. Okay, so we're going to come back the way we came in. So inhale the hands up and down, and switch these legs around. So this time it'll be the right leg out with the left leg over the top, if you're going to do the straight leg version. If you're not, the right foot will come under the left buttock. You might want to shift your blocks around a little. Sitting nice and tall. Inhale the hands up, shoulders relaxed and down, and then the left hand comes back. So we're beginning the twist, and the right hand elbow comes over that left knee, or hugging the knee towards you, and we're twisting the other way. Get a nice straight spine here. Lovely. Looking good. So these twists, these ringing postures, if you can imagine, they're actually putting quite a lot of pressure on the internal organs in a good way. So they're wringing them tight. So when you come out of the twist, there's actually a surge of blood to them. So they're felt to be detoxifying postures. And again, notice where you've got tightness on this side. Exhale, softness into it. Inhale, hands back up and down. Lovely. Let's come onto all fours. Shake these hips around a little. That might have come in a little bit tight in that posture. So something under the knees if you need to. So one of my favourite little mobilisation warm-ups here. We're going to start with a wide-kneed child. So knees nice and wide, toes together. And you may want to put a block under your head, or if your head goes straight to the floor, that's grand. Let's bring the hands forwards, spread the fingers to begin with the palms flat on the floor. And if you want to then lizard claw the mat, so picking up the palms, so your fingertips are on the mat, you'll start to feel some stretch in the upper back, down the sides of the torso. Inhaling, exhaling. So again, bringing softness, maybe letting the head sink a little bit deeper with these exhales. Lift the head very slightly, and we're going to walk the hands around to the left. Keeping quite low on the mat here, so feet coming, bottom is coming back towards the feet. You'll all know if you've got dodgy knees that you can put a block between the your bottom and the back of your calves, just to relieve a little bit of the pressure on the knee. Inhaling forwards. It's great with you guys because you're aware of what you can do. We're going to go the other way now, so you know what modifications you can do. I think we'll play with some more modifications when we're in the workshop, because we'll have lots of different blocks and props to play with. Good. Coming back into your child. Now stretching your hands right forwards, opening the fingers up, palms down on the ground. And now we're going to lift the hips up, keeping the chin tucked in, and tipping forwards, maybe bring the hands forwards a little bit more into an up dog. And you may want to just bring the knees together a little bit more. Just see how that lower back is feeling now. But while we're here, let's work on these shoulders, the shoulder blades opening across the front and coming together down towards the sort of sacrum back pocket. Now tuck the toes under and bring yourself back and tuck the feet, the fingers up as well. So we've got a little bit more of an active child pose here. So my knees are now hip width apart, and I've tucked my toes under and my fingertips are pointing up to the ceiling. And you'll notice how that feels on the across the shoulders. Let's come back. So tuck the chin under, bringing the kind of shoulder blades up first towards the ceiling, coming forwards with the hips, untuck the toes, drop the hips down, a little bit of a back bend, and again be mindful of these shoulders coming back towards the back pockets. And you can take a little view up with your eyes if you'd like. And let's come back. So again, I'm tucking the toes under, I'm leading up with the back of the rib cage, with the back of the shoulder blades. Fingertips come up towards the ceiling. And then I'm just going to invite you to do this in your own time, bringing the breath in as feels appropriate for you. Maybe one whole breath to come up, and then an exhale going the other way, or whatever way is working for you with the way that you're doing this. So this is a really nice mobilization for the back. One last cobra here. Don't say that was up dog before. Up dog, sorry, is with the knees up. This is the cobra. And coming back into tabletop this time. So we're finding our tabletop. We cannot do some work on upper body release without doing some thread the needle. So let's take the left hand up and away. Do this really slowly and mindfully. Inhale, lovely twist and stretch here, and then exhale, the hand down and through, left cheek on the floor. And all I'm going to suggest that you do today is pick up the right hand and hold it round the kind of, you can see where I'm trying to go for my sort of waistline here. So I'm trying to open up the right shoulder. And I think that actually opens things up a little bit more than putting the hand up in the sky. And as you can see, you maybe I'll see if you're looking, I've twisted my hand around so I can actually hold on to the waist rather than the flat of the back of the hand to the waist. Bring the hand back to the mat. Let's take the left hand out, twist away again, holding that for a few breaths, and then down. So let's do that again with the right hand. So the right hand's up, inhaling, As that hand comes up, exhaling, hand under, thread that needle around. Notice how that feels on that side, the upper back. And when you're ready, you can take the left hand back and round and just hold on to that right waist, opening up the shoulders. Inhaling and exhaling, bringing some softness to this. Inhale the hand back up, place it back, and come back into our all fours. See how we've got time. Okay. Right. We are going to come onto our backs momentarily. A couple of things I want to do with you on the back. Put a little bit of a padding under your head if you'd like it. So, hands to a T, feet kind of in front of the buttocks, and we're just going to windscreen wiper. So it's a reasonably narrow stance with this at the moment. And I'd suggest that you inhale the knees up, you exhale them down. Inhale up, exhale down. So whilst the focus today is very much on the upper back, it's connected to the lower back, and we mustn't neglect the lower back. So little twists here. And now just open the feet so that they're mat width apart and try that windscreen wipering in this wider foot stance and just see how that feels, see what different muscle groups you're bringing into play here. Good. And now a favourite little technique of mine, which I haven't taught for ages actually, but most of you who have taught before will be familiar with it. We're going to come onto our side. So if you come onto your left side so you can see me, again, you may want a little bit more under the head. So knees are coming up to hip. So the tops of my legs are parallel to the short edge of the mat, and my shins, so from my knees down to my feet, are kind of parallel with the long edge of the mat. Crocodile hands in front of us, all right? You know where we're going now. So the top hand, the right hand is pushing forwards. So I've got my left fingertips almost coming into my right inner wrist. And then we slide that right hand along the left arm, along, and keeping sliding it, opening out the collarbones here. Now, if your shoulders are dodgy, this may be where you want to stop. If you're not going into any pain at all, you can open the right hand out and bring it down towards the floor. The top of your right fingers may even touch the floor. Just stop where it feels you need to stop. We do not want shoulder injuries here. Bringing the hand back, and then you're just stroking along that arm again. So this is somatic yoga technique. Stretching as far as you can, and then bringing that hand back and opening out. So this should be really gently opening kind of upper back and the shoulders, really stretching forwards and then gently bringing out, stretching out the other way. Good. So when we come back to the crocodile hands, this time we're going to take that rainbow arc over the top. So the right hand will the fingers will skim the floor, and we'll go up in a rainbow arc over the heads, over and over. And again, you stop where you get to your edge. For some of you, you may well be able to keep the fingertips on or just above the floor, all the way over towards the kind of 9 o'clock. So back to where we were in the other position. And it's a beautiful stretch across the kind of front of the right shoulder. And then we'll rainbow arc it back. Don't do this enough. It's such a good little stretch when you spend a lot of time at a desk. Rainbow arcing one way and then the other. So inhaling as you come up You can pause and hold if you'd like, and exhaling back. Good, well hopefully that's feeling really nice on that side. So we're going to do the other side. I will shift scale around the mat so I can see. Well, I can see a lot when you're all on the floor. So right hand, remember your positioning is knees in front of the hips, and then the shins are parallel with the long edge of the mat. Crocodile hands in front. Left hand comes all the way, stretching as far forward as you can, and then stroking back. Oh, I've got a cupboard in the way. I am going to come back on the other way. But you can see where I'm getting to here on this opening side now. This is very mindful kind of practice. It's you know, it's the sort of move that you'd see in a somatic or maybe a Scaravelli kind of yoga class. Not particularly one you see in a restorative class because there's quite a lot of movement to it, and your classic restorative classes would be holding a pose for several minutes at a time rather than moving. So this was taught to me by a somatic practitioner. Good. So coming back to the crocodile hands, and then we'll change our metaphors up and bring that rainbow arc over the top. It could be like a peacock arch if we want to stay with the animal and birds. We've actually got peacocks that wander the streets in Henfield where I live now, and I've heard them squawking this morning already. It's quite a comforting thing hearing peacocks. It's a weird thing, and then you're sort of wandering around in the footpaths and all of a sudden there's 4 peacocks in front of you. Again, mindful of the breath, nice slow inhales and exhales, and see whether this felt better, easier, tighter on one side than the other. Hopefully it's easing off all the time. Good, so I think that concludes the lower back stuff. So let's find a couple of ways of getting up from here. What I would suggest is that you bring your knees up and you take your hands under your lower back. Bring the feet back down and use those hands to help push you up. It's a nice, safe way of coming up. Good. And we're going to make our way up to standing. So do this very slowly, coming forwards over the blades of your feet onto your knees. Coming up into a little toe stand. I'm not going to do this very deliberately with you, but I want you to just be mindful of the fact that we've been sitting down and on our backs, and I don't want anyone to have a head rush. So nice and slowly coming up to standing for the first time. Just grab a drink if you need to. So Tadasana. Ground ourselves down here, feet hip width apart, open the toes up and close them down again. Let's inhale the hands up above the head, and if you can, just look up, keeping these shoulder blades relaxed and down and away from the ears. Okay, now we're just going to bend the body, so we'll come up and sway over to the right hand side. If you want to interlace the fingers to just help with that stretch, you can do so. And again, we're looking under the left arm. So it's not dissimilar to what we were doing when we were sitting, but it's a deeper stretch now because the whole body is standing. Good. Inhale back up to the top. Stretch nice and tall. You might move the hands in the other direction. And bring the hands so the tops of the hands are towards the ceiling or the sky. And then exhale into that side bend. Inhaling and exhaling. Lovely stretch down the right hand side. Inhaling back up to the center. Bringing the hands apart, looking up through the hands to the sky, and then bringing the hands down. Take the feet a little wider apart. We're going to take the right hand down the leg and just let the left shoulder come up a little. Inhale back up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Doing quite a lot of work on the side body today. It's in relative close proximity to the upper back. One more on the right and one more on the left. Good. And let's just do some little cat-cows here. So soften the knees as we do this, tucking the chin in, hands come forwards and then back. Good. I want to do one bind behind. We did a lot of these with the net the other day, so I don't want to do masses today. I'm going to come to the side so just that you can see. Now, if you know you find this bind here quite tricky, grab yourself your strap and hold it as close to the hands as you can and use the strap instead. We're not doing a lot of them, so I'm going to stick with the hands. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to loosely find the hands together, make sure that the knees are nice and soft, and then opening out this collarbone area here. And if that's nice and open, it means that your hands will start to move up of their own volition much more easily. Okay, so if you have issues with your shoulder and you want to do this like this, you can instead. So once we're open here, I've got a nice crack going on there, bringing the hands back, and then if you would like to take a forward fold here and bring that hand back, lovely, lovely stretch. Just take it easy. If this is not one for you. I'm looking at you through my varifocals and I can't see properly. Lovely. Looking good. Try and get these hands as high above your shoulders as you can if you don't have a shoulder issue. Good. Inhale back up. And roll the shoulders forwards and back. You may want to even get your elbows into this. Bring the elbow points together and then in the other direction. Good. Right. This is one of my favourite poses. This one I love to hate. You're probably going to be ready for this. We're going to go into chair. So feet hip width apart. Bend those knees, hands coming forwards, sitting back here, and then bringing the hands up and looking up through the hands. Now, if I had an actual chair here, I could show you how bad my pose is, because these hands should be as high as they possibly can. Now, again, if your shoulders are not nice, you can keep your hands in front, or you can have them in Anjali Mudra. But this is chair. Right, let's bring the hands to Anjali Mudra. And we're just going to do a nice little twist here. So inhale and then exhale, left elbow to right knee. Try and stop your left knee popping forwards. The knees should be parallel to each other. And then look over the right shoulder. Well done. Nick, try and get your left knee back so it's parallel with the right one. You were unfortunate, I could actually see them there. Inhale back to the center. And then exhale the other way. So this time, just watch that your right knee is not popping forwards. Hopefully you can see that mine are parallel. So the twist is all happening in the upper body. Just heard the peacock. You won't have picked it up. Inhaling back and coming nice and tall. Inhale up and hands to the sides. Shall we do a little balance in chair? Oh yeah. Right, so what we're going to do is pick up the right leg and put it over the left knee. And you can stay like that if you'd like. You can hold on to something if you'd like. Anjali Mudra, sitting back as if you were in chair. So let me show you how I'm looking from the side. So this may well be enough for you. If you want to take your right elbow to your inside of your right foot, on an exhale, whoops, on an exhale, you can do that. It's quite a tricky little balance. It's a twist and a balance. It's also a fabulous glute stretch. So we're going to hold this for a few breaths if we can. Go back to one of the previous versions of it. If you're struggling with the balance, and the twist, coming back up, inhale, bringing that foot back down with control, and take a breath, and then the left foot comes over the right knee, sitting back into your chair, seeing how this feels, and then if you want to take the twist, this is my back, this is always easier, I can't get as deep a twist on this side, but you can get the elbow into the foot, that's where we're aiming for. Gosh, I cannot look at you guys and hold a balance at the same time, so I'm just going to watch. Well done, that looks like a good variant, Jenny, well done. Nicely done, Nick, well done. Yep, Sue, getting there. Okay, come back up when you're ready. Looking really good. Right, one more fan balance to do. Annette did do a variant of this the other day, but in a slightly different pose. So we're going to do eagle. So let's have the hands in front of us. So remember, eagle really is a lovely stretch for the upper back. So right hand on top of left, and well, it's sort of right elbow really on top of the left, and then you twist the hands around so that they're palm to palm if you can make it. If not, just hold on to wherever you can. And what we're trying to do is get these elbows and the hands away from the body. The temptation is to tuck them in because there's no stretch there and there's no stress on us. We want them behind, oh, sorry, in front, getting them as far away as possible. And you should feel this stretch in the upper back. Now, if that's all you do today, that's fine. That's what this class is about. But if you want to join me in eagle legs as well, picking up the right foot, tucking it behind the back of the left leg. And if you can, we lean forwards. Again, once you're there, really focus on these elbows coming forwards and the hands coming away. So elbows forwards and upwards. Coming back up, keeping the feet up if you can, and then with control, letting the foot down, and then undoing the arms. I want to be able to look at you at the same time as doing this, but I love the stretch too much. Right, the other way. So left hand on top, or left elbow on top, and finding your eagle arms there. It might be easier on one side or the other. Remember, what we're trying to do throughout this is push the elbows up and away. Then left leg over right. You can stop at any point. It's very rare that I go into a class and people do all of these. A lot of instructors really struggle with this pose. They're often the very bendy instructors. I'm not that bendy, but it means that my balance is better. So if you're struggling with this, don't worry. You often find that they just do the arms. It's just one of my favourite poses. And hey, it's one of the only things I'm actually quite good at, really. So let me have my balances. Coming up with control as you can. And probably really feeling that in the shoulders. So yeah, wriggle it out as you would like. Right, let's see where we're going to here. All sorts of possibilities here. Right, let's go with that. Right, we're going to do a version of Trikonasana. So it's not the tricky one that we often do. So let's start with, if you're going to follow me, if you want to mirror me, you'll need to do it the other way around. I've got my left foot out towards the short edge of the mat, and the right foot is parallel with the short edge of the mat. And then what we're doing is we're looking, actually, I'd like you to bend the front knee. We're looking to pick a beach ball up from the floor in front of us. Okay, so picking that beach ball up, lifting it up, lifting it up, lifting it up. Good. And dropping it down again. Lovely. Now, while you're down, can you straighten that front knee, bringing that left hand inside the left ankle. Crocodile hands here, and stroke up like we did with the other one. So the elbow is pointing upwards. So you don't need to go right into full Trikonasana yet. So what we're working on doing, as before, is opening the heart up towards the sky. Now, if you want to take the hand right up, you can. If you know you're going really forwards like this, bring that hand to the inside of your knee, bringing that elbow up again, and see if your posture and your alignment is better. We will probably work on Trikonasana in the workshop so we can all check our posture out. Let me see how you're looking. It's looking really nice. Nick, try and get the elbow up a bit higher. Good, really lovely, Sue. Nice variant, Jenny. Yeah, Linda's looking good. Lovely. Okay, so there's Trikonasana. Let's come back down with control, looking down, bringing that down and coming up. And we'll switch it around to the other side. So we'll do the little beach ball thing first. So left foot at the back, parallel with the short edge of the mat. Right foot, we're going to have a bend in that right knee. And let's come down to pick that beach ball up. Lifting it up and forwards. Shoulders released and back away from your ears. Try and get as much of your weight on your back, outer edge of that back foot as you can. Dropping that beach ball down with control. Now straighten that front leg up. The right hand, if you know with your Trikonasana you need to have your hands on the inside of your knee, just start with your knee. If you know you can go a lot lower, then you can go to whatever depth you like. I'm going to start with the knee. Crocodile hands together and stroking up. And just, I will often in a class just have my elbow up here or have my hand around the back, particularly if my shoulders are feeling not great. So like this, you get a lovely focus on opening the chest rather than this focus on the arm flapping around. But if you have got the arm up, the idea is that you look up towards those fingers. And when you're here, and you know your alignment is great, you might be able to drop a little lower, but only if the alignment is looking good. Nicely done, Kat. Good. Okay, so to come out of this, we look down at the foot and tick-tock our way up. We're now going to take goddess feet. So pointing the toes towards the corners of the mat and come down, up and down as a goddess. So just wriggle around with your feet to see just how this is feeling. I think we've got to throw our cactus arms in here, haven't we? Yeah, let's see how it's going. Oh, I haven't touched you with this for ages, have I? Right heel up. And down, left heel up and down. And then both. And try and sink a little deeper into your cactus. Keeping this area of the shoulders nice and open. And heels down. And let's come up. Just wriggle around momentarily because we're not finished with goddess yet. Okay, come down into the goddess legs and bring the shoulders down and forward. So we've got a kind of a back extension as we often do in sun salutations. Okay, so what we're going to do here is the left shoulder is going to come towards the right knee and then the other way. You should be able to sort of roll from one to the other. So I'm not moving my knees or my hips at all. This is all done with the upper, the sort of top bit of my back from the hips upwards. And your thighs are probably screaming. Good. Okay, so come to stillness and bring yourself back up. Heel toe your feet together or just jump in or find your way in. Good. Right, so Tadasana again, we're going to go into a standing forward fold. So let's just see where we're at in our posture. Chin tucked. Inhale, and then we'll exhale down into a forward fold here. And we'll just let this hang. So it's the first forward fold we've done, I think. But we've done lots of work stretching out the upper back. So you will hopefully find that your hands are low on the mat earlier on than they normally would be when you first do a forward fold. And I'm going to be kind to you. We're going to take the right hand up and let the left knee come forwards. That's it, looking up at the right hand and then down, and left hand comes up, right knee comes forwards. If your shoulders are bad, just come to wherever is. So I shouldn't use the word bad. If your shoulders are tight, just modify by just bringing an elbow up rather than the whole hand. We shouldn't really talk about good and bad size. It's like we're punishing the area of the body that is not as loose as the other. Just keep moving with this. And then when you're ready, perhaps have the knees so that they're parallel and not bent. And then we'll hold one up with these parallel knees and down, and then go the other way. So while we're down in this forward fold, let's take the hands around the back of the legs and bring the head towards the knee. You can bend the knees a little if that relieves your lower back somewhat. Good. Okay, let the hands drop, inhaling back up, rolling ourselves back up. Let's roll these shoulders, see how things are feeling. Bring a little bit of movement in, a little bit of a shimmy, see how we are doing. Just going to do a couple of things on the front. So if we come down onto our knees and make our way to the front, we are finding ourselves in Sphinx. So the elbows are under the shoulders. Feet are reasonably close together. Fingers are spread. So what we're working on with Sphinx is sort of pressure down into the elbows that is pushing back towards the hips, and being aware of pushing down with the pelvis so that we're not taking a lot of strain in the lower back. Okay, so Sphinx, I think, is, I mean, it feels like it's a really simple pose, but particularly if you've got lower back issues, this can be quite tricky. All right, so I'd like to just look over the right shoulder. We do that on an exhale. So we'll inhale back to the center and then exhale, looking over the left shoulder. Inhale to the center, look over the right, inhale to the center, look over the left. Good. Coming down, let's put your hands, so one palm is down over the other. Just rest your forehead on your hands. Take a little bit of a break, a little bit of a breather. We are coming towards the end now. And one more little bit of work here. We're going to take the hands out so that they're, how can I describe this? They're like cactus arms on the floor, aren't they? And then we're going to pick the palms up, pick the head off the floor, pick the shoulders off the floor, and the elbows are going to come back towards the back pockets. So we're lifting ourselves up, elbows towards the back pockets, and then down, and you can let your forehead come down on the floor. So inhale, exhale, elbows back towards the back pockets, and down again. Lifting up, elbows back towards the back pockets, really opening the shoulders up here and back. Lift up, elbows back and down. Now I know Annette's a fan of, well actually she's not even a fan of bow, but she did do bow the other day. I don't like it, it's not nice on my back. So this is my kind of alternative really. One more. And then rest. I'll see if there were any more delights I wanted to put in. Oh yes. Right, we're going to come and do a counter pose to that Sphinx, and we're going to do rabbit. So if you can make your way up onto your knees, sit back, so bottom is onto the heels. The top of the head here is going to come down to the mat, and then the bottom comes up, hands are back towards the feet. If you don't like this, you can just do child. This is rabbit. You can tuck the toes as well if you'd like. But what we're doing here is we're opening up the back of the neck, and it's obviously opening up the spine as well. Nice little counter pose. But like I say, if you prefer to just be in child, you can do that instead. Good, right. We are going to come back onto our backs again. Preparing for Shavasana. Let's take the knees up above the hips and we'll circle the knees around in one direction and then the other. Hug both the knees in towards you, perhaps picking the head up, rocking from one side to the other if that feels nice for you. Don't do it if you don't like it. Really holding yourself in here. Take the left leg down and hug the right knee in towards you. You can have your head on the ground if you'd like, you don't need to be holding it up. Switch them around, holding the left knee in towards you. Good. We're going to do just a little bit more windscreen wipering, so you can choose whether you want your feet narrow or wide. Windscreen wiper from one side to the other, just easing off this lower back. Let's hold it over to the right as we look over towards the left. So everything settle down, breathing coming back to normal. Inhale, knees back up, and exhale down to the left, looking over the right hand. Inhale back up, picking your right foot up and putting it over your left knee. This is your opportunity for a glute stretch. So picking your left leg up, putting the hand, your hand through the triangle that you make and clasping the left hand behind the left thigh. If you want to go for a deeper stretch, you can put your hands around the left shin bone. And we're working on pushing the right knee out so that you're getting a nice stretch across the right glute. So this is reverse pigeon or figure 4 stretch. Hold this for a few breaths. It's good to get those glutes stretched. Disentangle yourself from that and switch around. So the left foot will come over the right knee, picking the right leg up, and then hands either around the back of the right thigh or around the right shin. And again, thinking about pushing this left knee out to get the stretch that you're looking for. Let's take our legs away, hands up, nice full body stretch here. Now just bring the hands back to the sides. What I want you to do is flap your feet. So flapping the feet up and down, it's like this, up and down, up and down. Just loosening everything up here, flap, 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 flap. Maybe moving your head gently from one side to the next while you're flapping. I can't remember why there's some technical reason to do with your nervous system, I think, that this is really good for. I can't quite remember what it is, but I know it's a good exercise to do. So keep flapping, moving the head from one side to the other, nice and gently. Hopefully you're not feeling too seasick. Okay, so I'd like to do just a little bit of breath work before we go into Shavasana. You are welcome to lie and do that just lying down. If you would rather be seated for that, just come into a comfortable seated pose. I'm just going to do the pranayama square. So let's close the eyes. Whether we're seated or lying, be aware of our positioning on the mat, our bones, either the sitting bones, sitting down, chin tucked, head nice and straight, or just relaxing, lying on the mat. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Make a count of your breath in and count that same number of beats out. Count in. Notice the little pause and then count out again. Noticing the little pause. Now say your count was for 4. We're going to extend that pause so that it's a count of 4 as well. So we inhale for your count, pause for your count, exhale for your count, pause for your count. If you're not keen on the full count for the pauses, you can do half your count for your pauses. And you can now continue with that breath pattern. Or if you want to just change it up a little and focus on extending the exhale. So inhale for perhaps even a longer count than you had before. A little pause and then focus on a very, very long, slow exhale. Inhale again. Gentle but deep. Little pause and then focusing on a really nice long exhale. I'm not going to speak through the Shavasana a couple of minutes. You can continue with whichever breath pattern you like. Just go to a natural breathing. take a deeper breath now, warning the body that you're about to wake up again, bringing some movement to your fingers and your toes, wriggling around, moving, doing whatever you would like to do before we come back to sitting. There's no hurry here. So we will bring our hands to heart center. Inhale as we open the hands out, stretching tall, bringing the hands back down to heart center as we exhale. We'll do one more of those. Inhaling up, exhaling the hands down. We'll then rub the palms together, taking glasses off if you have them on. I invite you to just close the eyes at this point, so really generate some heat in the hands, and then put those hands over the eye sockets and feel the heat coming from the palms into the eye sockets. Now just open the eyes with your hands over your eye sockets and very gradually lift the hands away so that you come back to the light in a very natural way. And we will say namaste together. Namaste. Thank you very much for joining me. Hopefully you're feeling all super loose in your upper body and shoulders. I'm going to stop the recording and we can unmute ourselves.